Hi everyone, welcome back. It's that time again. Can you believe it? It's time for the Sephora sale. Once again, the sale starts on April 4th and runs through April 14th. I am kind of surprised. I feel like I just made a Sephora sale recommendations video, but that was almost 6 months ago. So that's crazy, but it's time again. So today I'm going to share my makeup recommendations, a few hair things, a few skin things, and some brushes too. Sometimes I just keep it to makeup, but this time I'm going to include a little bit of everything in this video. So of course, naturally this is probably going to be a long video. So grab a snack or a cup of coffee and just know that, of course, as always, I'm not telling you that you need to shop the sale. I am just sharing things that I would recommend. If you're in the market for something or you want to shop the sale, these are the things that I love and I think you would too. If you're new here, my name is Blair. I do all kinds of beauty content here on my channel and I would love for you to stick around, subscribe, and let's go ahead and get into all my recommendations. Now, before we get started, I did just want to say, I know a lot of people don't include previous sale recommendations in these videos. I've been making these videos for a few years, so you know, I could just include newer launches in this video, but I don't like to do mine that way. I like to give you my true favorites. Now, there are a few new launches in here, but I only put in new things that I felt like 100% deserved to be in this video. I don't like to just include new launches because those aren't tried and true favorites, you know? And if you're spending your hard-earned money on something, I want it to be something that I have used and I know I feel very confident in recommending to you. So I don't do mine that way. I'm sorry if you don't love that. That's just the way I like to do it. So let's get started with primer. Now, if you are familiar with me and my content, you will probably know I am not a huge primer person. And I straight up do not think primer is necessary. So I don't recommend them a ton just because I think skincare is much more important. Your SPF, all those things, that's what I would spend your money on typically. However, if I was going to recommend a primer, I do have one that I've recommended quite a few times, but it's still my favorite if I were choosing, and it's this one from Iconic London, the Underglow Blurring Primer. The reason that I like this one is I feel that most skin types would like this or could use this because you do get some hydration in here, so it's kind of a serum-y texture. So you get a little bit of glow, a little bit of hydration, but it actually does slightly kind of smooth over your skin. Now, it's not the most mattifying primer, so if you have a lot of oiliness, a lot of pores, and you're really trying to smooth skin texture, this is probably not going to be enough for you. But if you want just like a really nice smoothing effect, a very nice canvas for makeup, this does that, and it gives you some glow and a little bit of hydration, but nothing that's going to be too much for most people. So this is the one that I would recommend. It never interferes with my makeup or my skincare either, which is another bonus. And this is definitely my one primer recommendation. All right, moving into foundations and skin tints. Now, this is a category that I always have to edit down because I love complexion products. I love foundations. I love skin tints. This is one of my favorite things to try. And for that reason, I do have more than just one recommendation for you, but I still narrowed it down. Let's start with what I have on. And this is something I loved quite a while ago, and then I kind of put it away, didn't use it for a while. I've pulled it back out in the past 2 months or so, and this foundation I absolutely love for normal to dry skin. This is what I have on today, and it's Makeup Forever HD Skin Hydra Glow. Now, this gives, I would say, a light to medium coverage. You're not going to get more than medium, and the medium coverage you get from this, I would say, is on like the lighter end of medium. But this is so beautiful, especially if you have dry skin, which right now, My skin is dry, I am pregnant, and my skin, I have no oiliness going on right now. My skin is very, very dry. Typically, it's more on the normal side, oily leaning in the summer. Right now, we are dry. So this is working really, really well for me. And this is surprising to me because this foundation is very hydrating, very glowy, but it actually wears pretty long. Every time I wear this, I'm kind of surprised because typically this type of formula, you wouldn't think of it as the most long wearing. But for whatever reason on my skin, this wears all day long beautifully, and I love it. So this is absolutely something I recommend for normal to dry leaning skin. If you're oily, this is going to be too much hydration and glow for you, most likely. Moving into another product. Now, this is a skin tint, but this has been a favorite for quite a while, and it still is. The Ciele skin tint with SPF 50. I'm telling you, this is my favorite skin tint at Sephora by far. It is my favorite. If I had to pick one, it would be this one. This is so beautiful. It gives great coverage for a skin tint. This, I would say, you could actually get a little bit more coverage from than the Makeup Forever. This you can get a solid medium coverage from, which is pretty crazy for a skin tint. But what I love most about this is it's so thin and it feels like a skincare product. It has that serum-y, very liquidy texture, but it looks so good on the skin. It looks so natural. It never looks heavy. I can't tell you how often I reach for this. It is just a staple for me at this point. I wear the shade light number 3 and it's a pretty good shade match for me. By the way, if I do forget to mention my shade in any of these things, it will all be in the description box. I'll try to remember to say it, but if I forget it, I promise I will list everything below. So check there if I forget to mention it. But if you're looking for a skin tint, you want some SPF, but you also need coverage, I'm telling you, you gotta try Ciele. I can't do a Sephora sale video without talking about Armani Luminous Silk. Now this is a tried and true favorite. This has been around forever. And I would say in the last year and a half or so, I really fell in love with this. I've always liked it, but I don't know. In the last year and a half, 2 years, I really, really started loving this. This is just perfect in every way. I actually think most skin types can wear this. I know it's called Luminous Silk, so you would think that that would imply a lot of glow. I don't find this to be that glowy. I find this foundation to be more of a natural finish, which if I were choosing of all the foundation finishes, I would choose a natural finish just because I feel like it's the most versatile. The most people or more people can get away with that finish typically. And that's how I would describe this. This is incredibly thin as well. It's a little bit thinner actually in texture than the Makeup Forever. This is a little bit creamier, a little bit more of just a thicker viscosity than this. This is very thin, similar to the Ciele, but a foundation. Obviously, it doesn't have SPF in it. It's very long wearing. The shade range is very extensive. Anyone can find a shade in this. I think no matter your age, your skin type, this would work for you. So I will always recommend this from Armani. And one final foundation I wanted to put in here. I unfortunately cannot use this one right now, but I do love this. And when I can use it again, I absolutely will. And it's the Prada foundation, the Prada Reveal Skin Optimizing Foundation with SPF 17. My only gripe with this foundation truly is, why did we put SPF 17 in here? First of all, SPF 17 is not anything really. Like, why did we bother? Because if this didn't have the SPF, I could use this, but this has chemical SPF. Like I said, I'm pregnant and I'm not using chemical SPFs right now, but when I am not, this is a beautiful foundation. Now this is going to be better for, I would say, normal to oily skin. This is more of a soft matte finish. So if you have very dry skin, you might be able to get away with this if you really hydrate and prep your skin before, but overall I would say this is probably best for normal combo oily skin. but this is so beautiful. Now this has a little bit of like a smoothing, blurring quality to it. So if that's something that you're looking for, this is stunning. It does have fragrance. Some people like it, some people don't. It smells nice, but it does have that Prada fragrance. But it is a beautiful product. I absolutely love the packaging on the Prada foundation too. I mean, that's not a huge deal, but you know, if you're gonna pay this amount of money for a foundation, you want it to look pretty. This is also refillable, so if you use it up, you just take the component or the refill out, buy a new one, and then you just pop it back in here. I wear the shade LN15 in this, and this is a beautiful product. I look forward to being able to use this again, and I do think this is a more high-end, luxurious foundation that is worth the money. All right, moving on to color correctors. Now, y'all know me, this is one of my favorite things to talk about. I could talk for hours and hours and hours about color correctors, but I did choose two of them that I really like and I think are worth the money depending on what you are looking for from Sephora. The first one will not be a shock. I talk about this all the time at this point. This is the Caliray Hideaway Brightening Under Eye Corrector. I have two of them. I have a lighter one and a darker one. They did recently just add a few new shades to the line, and this is one of the lighter shades that is new. So I have Cool Sunrise, which is a deeper shade, and then Radiant is the lighter shade, or is it Radiate? No, it's Radiant. This formula, if you want something very thin, very hydrating, layers well with concealer, if you want to put concealer over the top, this formula is fantastic. The packaging is great. It is glass. It is very, very nice. And this corrector has the best shade range at Sephora, period. They have, I want to say like 10 shades of this now, which is kind of unheard of for a color corrector. Now, the only thing with this is a lighter coverage corrector. So if you have a lot of darkness or a lot of melasma, a lot of depth that you're trying to cover, this may not be enough. The next one I'm going to share has a lot more coverage than this. But if you're looking for a very thin, lightweight, everyday type of correcting product, this is fantastic from Caliray. It's so good. Every time I use it, I'm just blown away by how good it is. So look how creamy and blendable this stuff is. I'm telling you, love, love, love this product if you are looking for something lighter under the eyes. If you are looking for something more on the full coverage side, I really enjoy the new Kosas corrector. These are the Revealer Extra Bright color correctors. Now, the thing with these is, number one, they're full coverage. So if you don't want full coverage, you're not going to love this. And if you do, I would still recommend using a very, very small amount because these are a thicker texture than the Caliray and they are pigmented. So if you apply too much of these, they can look like a lot really, really fast. So I would always recommend with these to apply less than you think you need. And if you want more or you feel like you need more coverage, more color correction, go in and add more. I will say I use this shade the most. This is the only shade I use today. This is Illusion. This is the second shade. I do have the lightest one, which is Magic. That one is pink. It's very kind of like a lavender pink. So that's not going to do much for most people in terms of correcting darkness. That's going to be more of a brightening shade on most people. So for a color corrector, I would recommend this shade if you're around my skin tone, or one of the deeper shades if you are darker than me. But do you see how much more pigment that has than the Caliray? The Caliray is down here. So it just depends on what you're looking for. Both of them are beautiful and both of them do a really great job of correcting, but it just kind of depends on what you're looking for. Now, for concealer, nothing really new to share here. I won't spend too much time on these, but you know I'm gonna say it. Natasha Denona Hy-Glam Concealer. This one is still my favorite. Will somebody come along and top Natasha Denona? I don't know. How long has this concealer been out? It's been over a year, I think. Nothing comes close to this in my mind because of the coverage, how thin it is, the shade range. It never disappoints me. I just think this stuff is absolutely amazing. And I will say, if you don't like it, I'm assuming you don't like a lot of coverage. And if you've tried it and you didn't like it, you do like coverage, maybe you use too much. Because I will say, if you go in and like really do like the triangle thing, put it all over your under eyes, okay, this can look heavy because yes, it's very pigmented. This is full coverage, but I'm a full coverage concealer kind of girl. I don't like a light coverage concealer, mainly because I like typically lighter weight base products for every day. And then I like my concealer to give me the coverage where I need it. So this, you know, will I ever do a Sephora sale video without talking about this? Probably not. But for now, this one is still my absolute favorite. I do have two others that I'm going to share that I also really like. One of them is an old favorite. Now, this concealer used to be my favorite before Natasha Denona came out. So if you've been around my channel for a long time, you may remember when this was my favorite concealer. And I've kind of re-fallen back in love with it recently. But the Hourglass Vanish Airbrush Concealer. Okay, again, this is a full coverage concealer. So if you don't want that, you're not gonna like this. This concealer, how it differs from Natasha Denona is this one is a little bit thicker and it's more matte. This one is on the thinner side and it has a little bit more hydration to it. Now, I wouldn't call it the most hydrating concealer I've ever used, but in comparison to this one has more hydration to it. Hourglass, what this is good for is a stubborn area that you really want to cover, like a blemish, something like pigmentation that's still not covered. Maybe you've done foundation, maybe you've done concealer and you still have something that just won't go away. You just can't cover it. This concealer works really well if you put it on and leave it, like don't touch it. Put it on whatever spot you have, leave it, don't touch it. Do something else, do your brows, do your bronzer, something else. Leave it for as long as you possibly can. And then go back, blend out the edges very lightly, and this gives great coverage and it lasts very well. Now, this formula, I will say, is not my absolute favorite under the eyes, just because it is more matte and it is a thicker texture. I prefer the other two concealers under my eyes, but this one gets the job done for covering up a stubborn spot. And number 3, this is the lightest coverage option of the ones I'm going to mention, but it is still a good one. Tower 28 Swipe Up Hydrating Concealer. Now this is the thinnest texture of these 3 by far. This you can get a solid medium coverage out of. I've seen some people saying you can get full coverage from this. I don't find this to be full coverage. I would say medium at the very most, but this is so thin, so hydrating, and it's very beautiful under the eyes because it is that thin texture. It honestly reminds me of the texture of the Caliray, just a concealer, but this gives a little bit more coverage than the Caliray. But this one, I highly recommend if you are more dry. You don't need full coverage, but you still want something that has some pigment to it. I would recommend Tower 28. All right, let's move into powders now. Now, powder, this category in the last year or so has gotten really hard for me because I feel like a lot of good powders have come out and a lot of them I really like depending on what I'm going for at the time. Let's start with the powder, or one of the powders that I've used today. The Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin Setting Powder. This is an absolutely beautiful powder. This, I would say, is best for normal combo oily skin. I don't think this is a super hydrating powder. This is definitely more of a mattifying, smoothing type of powder. It's also more of a makeup type powder. What I mean is, this is not like a soft, I threw on tinted moisturizer, blush, brow, and a lip balm kind of powder. This is like I did a full face of makeup like I did today. and I want to really lock it in place, set it, you know, mattify, blur, all the things. That is what I would recommend this for. But it does all those things and it's very thin. It's very finely milled. It doesn't give you that thick, kind of heavy look. To me, this is a much better version of like the Huda powder. I'm not a huge fan of the Huda powder. That's a little too heavy for me. This does that, but in a more natural looking way to me. So I use this today. I use shade Light Neutral and I love it. My only complaint about it, and I'm gonna say it in every video, I'm sorry to be a broken record, but there's no sifter here to close this powder off, so it makes a mess. That's my only complaint, but I think the powder is phenomenal. Now, a newer powder this is a newer launch, probably one of the first newer launches that I'm mentioning in this video, the Kosas loose powder. This is the loose cloud set powder. This is the pink one. Now, this is a lighter looking powder. This I would say would be better for normal to dry skin because this, like the pressed cloud set powder, does not totally eliminate all the shine, all the moisture, all the glow. This takes away that kind of oily look, like you've applied a lot of cream products or, you know, you just look a little bit shiny. This will kind of tone that down, but it doesn't totally take all the glow away. So that's why I would recommend this for normal to dry skin. And yes, mine is the pink one. Don't let the pink scare you. The pink looks very pink in the packaging, but somehow when you apply it on the skin, it doesn't look pink. So don't let the color scare you. I do hope they release this in just the normal skin tone shades, like the pressed cloud set version. I'm assuming they will do that at some point, but for now, we only have the color correcting shades. But I have been using this all month long, really. It's been in my everyday makeup drawer for the month. And I really enjoy this, but I have a drier skin type right now. So if you're oily, I would recommend the Makeup by Mario. If you are dry, I would recommend the Kosas. And then the other powder that I feel like this powder doesn't get talked about a ton, but it's a really good mattifying, smoothing, blurring powder. And it's this from Tower 28. This is the Get Set Pressed Powder in Palisades Pink. Again, this is a pink powder. This one doesn't really look that pink. It's like a beigey pink, but on the skin, it definitely doesn't look pink. This is what I have on under my eyes today. So I use this to set my concealer, and this is more on the matte side again. So very smoothing, very blurring. If you want to really kind of airbrush your skin after you've done like a loose setting powder, that's what I would use this for. I often will take this and kind of go over this area where I get a little bit shiny, or sometimes I'll go over my under eyes like I did today. I know a lot of people don't love it because there's no mirror. I don't know why they didn't put a mirror in here, but the powder itself is very good. Moving into bronzers. Another very easy category for me because we've got pretty much nothing new here. So I'll go through these quickly. I can't do this video and not recommend the Skin Enhancer from Makeup by Mario. This product, I think, it's one of the best products at Sephora. Like, of all the products, this would be like in my top 10. And I'm thinking about doing that video, actually, doing like top 10 products at Sephora, like period, over everything. This would be that, because there's nothing else exactly like it. It's so pretty and creamy, and it literally melts into the skin like butter. You could literally take your brush, close your eyes, and apply this, and I promise you it would still look good. That is how foolproof and dummy-proof this product is. Anybody can use this. As you can see, mine is well loved. I already have a backup of this because this is not something I'm ever going to be without. Ever. Another recommendation I've recommended so many times. This is what I have on my face today. The Westman Atelier Face Trace Contour Stick in Biscuit. I say it every time, but I just love this product. Now, I have the little mini size, which is really nice. Now, I think you can get all the shades in minis, which is great. So if you don't want to spend the money on the full size, I think these are like half the price of the full size, and mine has lasted me for a very long time. This one is shade Biscuit, and Biscuit is a beautiful, I would say neutral to cool leaning shade. So that is Biscuit. To me, it's cool without being gray or looking ashy on me. Like, I don't have any other bronzer on today. This is the only thing that I put on. And I feel like this shade for my skin tone, it's just cool enough that it kind of gives you a bronzing and a contouring effect. Very creamy, very pigmented, yet it's easy to use, easy to blend out. I typically get mine off the back of my hand with my brush and then go on my face. That's just how I like to do it, but I know a lot of people love to just draw this one on. And this is an expensive product, but based on the shade alone, I would buy this again. So I do recommend the Westman Face Trace Contour Stick. And then for powder bronzers, I do have one exciting thing to share with you, and that is these are finally back in stock at Sephora. I guess House Labs took these off the market and I don't know if they reformulated them or they just relaunched them. I really don't know, but these went away for quite a while. You couldn't get them. They were out of stock everywhere. I was in a Sephora a few days ago and they have these again. And it looks like they did change the shade range slightly. I couldn't really tell how many they added or took away. It looked like maybe they had condensed the shade range just a little bit. But this bronzer, one of the best powder bronzers on the market at Sephora. Just based on the formula alone, this formula is like, it's like a cream to powder kind of feel. I don't think it actually is cream to powder, but it's a very velvety feeling powder formula. But then it looks, you know, like powder bronzer when you put it on, yet it has that kind of creaminess. So it doesn't look flat on the skin, but it's not glittery either. Kind of looks like the Hourglass bronzer, which we're going to talk about in a minute. But this is one of the best powder bronzers at Sephora, in my opinion, and they are now back in stock. And finally, I also love the ambient lighting bronzers from Hourglass. This one is Nude Bronze Light, and this one is just a classic. Those classic Hourglass baked powders, we know them, we love them. They're classic for a reason. These are holy grails for so many people, and for a good reason. They are powders, but they don't look like powder on the skin. They look very, very just natural, a little bit glowy, but not from glitter or shimmer, just from it being a baked formula. It looks very natural, just a very natural sheen on the skin. And they're beautiful. I also love these on the eyes as eyeshadow as well. So this would be my other powder bronzer recommendation. Let's move into blush. This was kind of difficult. I usually try to limit myself here to 4. I have 2 older formulas, 2 newer formulas. We'll start with the older ones that will not surprise you if you watch my content. Okay, of course, I'm going to recommend Patrick Ta blushes. These are some of my favorites. I love them. I love them. They're not the easiest to apply. They're definitely not what I would recommend for a beginner, but I do love them. I love the cream and the powder. I like the cream, I would say, the most of the 2 formulas, but what I really like is to use the powder and then layer the cream on top. That's what just makes these so beautiful to me. But they are very pigmented. They're very intense, so you do have to be kind of careful. This is one of the newer shades from him, and she's Seductive. Very beautiful, warmer, nude shade, similar to Not Too Much from Patrick Ta that he released about a year ago. I definitely don't think you need both. If you have one, you really don't need the other. I do have both just because I collect the shades, really, but I love these blushes. I also love She's That Girl. That one's more of a pink. I love She's Wanted. That one is a really deep berry color that looks great on everybody. These, you know me, I'm always going to recommend Patrick Ta blushes. Now, on the opposite end of the spectrum, these are very easy, very beginner friendly. I would recommend these for someone that has never applied a cream blush before, and that is the Makeup by Mario Skin Enhancer, not the Skin Enhancer, the Plumping Blush Veils. So this is my most used. This one is barely blushing. It's just a really light nude color. It is beautiful though, very, very sheer though. So you have to be okay with a very sheer blush. Like it's very similar in formula to the Skin Enhancer from Mario. So you're not going to get intense pigment with these like you do with the Patrick Ta, but they are so pretty and dewy on the skin, very hydrating, very balmy. You can actually apply this formula over powder and it applies beautifully. I love this one. And in the summer, I love this one. This one's a brighter color. It's Strawberry Sunset. This one, oh my goodness, it looks really scary. It's not though. So when you apply it, it looks very vibrant, but it's very easy to sheer out and it just becomes this beautiful kind of warm, I guess they call it strawberry. I would say it's more of like a watermelon color. But these I love and they're foolproof. Now for the newer blush launches, if you've been watching my channel for the last few weeks, you probably saw my blush try-on video. I've tried most of the new blushes that have been released. Now, I chose 2 of them to put in this video. These are the 2 that have impressed me the most. Number 1, Rare Beauty, the Soft Pinch Bouncy Matte blushes. Okay, this is the blush that I have on today. I have it on in 2 different shades. I just kind of mix them. So the first one that I applied is this one, which is Hope. Hope is just like it's kind of I would say like a warmer, peachier pink than the Hope shade in the liquid version of the Rare Beauty blush. It doesn't look exactly like that color, so just know that. This is such a gorgeous formula. It is unique. It's a cream to powder formula, so it feels very, very creamy when you swatch it. But then on the skin, it does have like a true kind of blurred, smoothing quality to it. However, I will say also about these, if you apply this over a very dewy base, they actually can look a little bit more glowy. So they kind of take on the finish of whatever you have on underneath. These just kind of blew me away from the first time I tried them in the blush video, and I've been continuing to reach for these over and over. So today I applied Hope first, so that's the majority of what you see, and then this one, if I could recommend one blush right now, it would be this one in Grateful. This blush in red, I put a little bit of this on over Hope today, just a little bit, just to get a little bit of that red color, but this blew me away. I had never tried a red blush before until I bought this, and it did not disappoint. Clearly, I've been missing out on red blush, but this is so incredibly beautiful. So if you're like me and you're scared of red, do not be. This color is so pretty, so natural. I can't believe I've not worn a red blush until now because it looks so scary, like that's it on my finger. But then when you sheer it out, like look at this color. Like how pretty is that? I'm telling you, I bet this looks good on literally everybody. I cannot recommend this shade enough, but this formula, so beautiful. I think this is Rare Beauty's best launch in quite a while, and they're long wearing. They wear all day on me. So highly recommend these from Rare Beauty. And the last one, of course, I have to include the YSL blushes, the Make Me Blush powder blushes. I have one of the satin formulas and one of the matte formulas. These just, the packaging alone, I mean, I know I've mentioned it in many videos, but like, come on. YSL just kills it in the packaging department. But not only that, the formulas are great on these blushes. This one is probably the one I use the most, which is shade 44, and it's one of the iconic shades from YSL. It's kind of like a dusty, mauvier rose, but they're so good. They blend and apply so beautifully. They just kind of melt into the skin, even though they're powders. I love them. I love them so much. Yes, they're expensive, but if you want to treat yourself to one blush, a very luxurious, pretty, like it makes you just feel good to use it blush, look no further. And this one is now available at Sephora. This is Rose Haze. Before, this was not available in the United States. It was only available in other countries, but not here. Of course, I overpaid for it on Mercari, and now you can get this on Sephora. So don't do what I did, but you can get this shade. This is one of the matte shades. And this one is kind of like a peachy pink. So that is it on my finger right there. But again, so pretty, very neutral, and it goes with everything. I did actually put a little bit of this over the top of my two Rare Beauty blushes today just for fun. But I have to recommend these from YSL. They're stunning. For highlighters, now I don't wear highlighter every day, but I do have a few that I really enjoy when I do wear highlighter from Sephora. First being these from Dior. These are the Forever Glow Maximizers. So these are liquid highlighters. They have a doe foot applicator, but these are they look kind of like a cream when you apply them. They're liquid, so it kind of mimics a cream anyway, but these just kind of melt into the skin. They're also really nice, like mixed in with liquid blushes if you'd like to do that. But these just kind of, I mean, like melt like butter. Like that's the pink color right there, but yet they're not shimmery, and they don't have big chunks or flecks of glitter in them. They just give you that beautiful glow and a little bit of color. Like this one's the pink. It's not overly pink, but it does have like a little bit of a pink hue to it. I also have nude, which is a little bit darker for me. I can really only wear this one in the summertime, but this one is more of like a bronzy shade on me. But you can see they just melt right into the skin, and they're beautiful. You can actually very easily apply these, like dot them directly on the skin. Use your finger, a sponge, a brush, whatever you have, and just kind of pat them in, and they just melt into your other cream or even powder products very easily. And the packaging, I mean, they're so nice. They're so luxe. Obviously they should be, they're Dior, but this is one of my favorite highlighter formulas at Sephora. And then I also really enjoyed this. Now this, to me, this is a hidden gem at Sephora. This is from Sephora collection, and it'll be 30% off during the sale, but these are their luminizers, and these are so good. So good. I think these are like $14 maybe, and then they're 30% off during the sale, but these are beautiful baked powder highlighters. They're so creamy. They look like more like a cream on the skin than they do a powder. They're also beautiful as eyeshadow. This one is my favorite. This is Sparkling Honey, which is on my finger right there, but these, just trust me, they are that Sparkling Honey right there. They are very similar to another very popular, much more expensive formula that I'm going to mention in a second. But these, hidden gem from Sephora collection for sure. And then of course, I do think this product is worth it. I think this is another product that's probably one of the best at Sephora, the Dior Backstage Glow Face Palette. But listen to me. These baked highlighters in here, very, very similar to this. So if you want this type of formula, but maybe you don't need 4 shades, you don't want to pay the money for all 4, get one of these. I'm telling you, they are very, very similar. But if you want the whole palette, the Dior Backstage Glow Face Palette, you can't go wrong. You really can't. They're also beautiful on the eyes. I use mine. Honestly, I probably use these on the eyes more than I use them on the face, just because I don't always use face highlighter, but this is a great product. I think anybody that likes some glow would love this. Now, on to brows. If you know me, you probably know I don't buy a ton of brow products from Sephora. I think there are so many amazing drugstore brow products. So I certainly don't think this is a category that you need to splurge on. I do have 2 products that you can get at Sephora that I use quite a bit, but again, there are a lot of great drugstore options for brows in my opinion. But something that I use all the time, and you can get it at Sephora, so I'm going to mention it, is the brow powder duo from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This one is in medium brown. Mine is very crusty and gross looking because I use mine all the time. But lately, what I've been doing for my brows, I kind of switch it up. Just kind of depends on what kind of mood I'm in. But lately, I've just been taking this light kind of taupey shade right here, throwing that in my brows, using a brow gel, and that's it. Sometimes I'll use a pencil, sometimes I'll use a brow pen to kind of perfect them and make them look, you know, a little bit more done or a little bit more precise. But on most days, I literally take this brow powder duo, just run a little bit through both brows, a clear brow gel, and that's it. If you've never used powder in your brows, I encourage you to try it if you like a natural looking brow. This is not going to give you like a microbladed kind of brow look. So if you like a very drawn on, defined, perfect looking brow, you're not going to get that from this. This is like a natural kind of like my brows, but better kind of product. And I personally love that, especially for every day. So this is something that I use all the time. And then the other product that I use all the time is this from Benefit, the 24-hour brow setter. I still think this is one of the best clear brow gels on the market. I've tried so many, but this one doesn't leave that weird residue in my brows. It keeps them in place all day long. You can fluff them up if you want, or you can laminate them if you want. It's a great product. I wish it was more affordable. Obviously, I don't always want to spend a ton of money on brow products because there are good ones that are from the drugstore, but if I were going to buy one from Sephora, this would definitely be the one for me. For the eyes, again, I don't really have a ton of new things to share here. I'm pretty tried and true with most of the things that I use for my eyes. Number one being, in fact, this is probably my number one eye recommendation for you because I love these so much. The Armani eye tints. I know I've mentioned these in so many of my videos, but these are the best liquid shadows at Sephora by far, in my opinion. These are the two I use the most, 18 and 22. 18 is what I have on today, so I use this all over my eyes kind of as a primer today. I didn't use 22 today because I used a powder eyeshadow that we'll talk about in a second. But these two, I do this eye look all the time. I will put 18 all over my eyes. I will take 22 on the outer corner and I kind of blend it up and over into the crease. Sometimes I'll take like a glitter topper or something and top it in the center of the eye. That is my eye look. I do that all the time. And these are just fantastic. They're kind of like a moussey texture, so they're very just easy to use, easy to blend. This is another product I think is foolproof. I really don't think you can mess these up, truly. So these I will always repurchase. In fact, my 18 is getting really, really empty. I'm like scraping the side there, so I may end up buying a new one of these for myself during the sale. For palettes, really, again, not much new to report here. My most used eyeshadow palette right now is this one. And it has been for quite a while. The Makeup by Mario Master Mattes, the neutrals. For my skin tone, what I like, this is just everything that I need. Every single matte eyeshadow that I could possibly need or want is in this palette. You have some deeper shades. I use these for liner. I use this dark brown for like a winged liner a lot. You have lighter shades for like highlighting. You have a ton of light to medium kind of transition shades. You have everything in here, truly. And this is what I use on a daily basis. You can even use this for brows. I've used like this gray right here to fill in my brows before. This just gives me everything that I need, and this is the palette I use the most, believe it or not, out of everything. I did use this today over the top of that Armani shadow. I really used these two right here, so kind of this like taupe, or it's not really a taupe, it's like kind of a sand, and then this more like pinky taupe right here. I mixed those two and kind of set the entire eye and then put it in the crease. And that's all I did with this palette today, but this is just my most used by far. I would recommend it to anyone. That formula is so buildable. very easy to blend, not too pigmented, so it's very natural for every day. I love it. If I wanted something a little bit fancier, I still love the YSL eyeshadow quads. Again, with the packaging, YSL just always comes through with the packaging. But besides the packaging, these shadows from YSL are so luxurious. They're very, very creamy, and they feel like a cream to powder. They kind of feel similar, honestly, to that House Labs bronzer that I was talking about earlier. They're a powder, but they're just so creamy on the eyes, and they give you a very, you know, luxurious feel, luxurious look. They aren't intense pigment though, so they're going to give you a much softer kind of eye look. So you have to be okay with that. But if you like that kind of thing, this one's my favorite. This one is 100 in Stora Dolls. It's more of like the cool tone one. But I also have 300, which is much warmer. I will sometimes mix the two and use some of the warmer shades and the cooler shades. These all have one like topper shade in them, and then the others are more of just that creamy matte formula. But they're amazing. If you want something like really luxe from Sephora, you want to treat yourself kind of palette, these are great. And then what I have on my eye today over the top of the Mario shadows is actually this from Patrick Ta. These are his eyeshadow duos. They came out, I don't know, like 6 months ago or so. I know a lot of people have opinions on these. I personally love them because this is what I use. I like a matte eyeshadow palette for the most part, or a bronzer or something like that. And then I love a topper. So today I used this one right here, and that is the shimmer that you see on my eyes. This one is in Talk to My Team. And you know, these are just really beautiful, very thin, very fine, pearly shadows. And you can apply them really sheerly and get like a wash of color and get kind of that wet look. Or you can really like dig your finger in and get opaque, intense metallic pigment. So they're very versatile to me, and this is just the kind of stuff that I reach for. I love that one. But I also have We Need Better Lighting. This one has a silver or a white and a gold in it. So you get a warmer one and a cooler one. And then the other one I also love, it's the brown one and Still at the Club. I just love these. I love these. My eye formula on myself typically is a few light to medium neutral matte shades all over. And then I like something like this, and I take some on my finger and tap it on my lid. Sometimes I'll do a little wing. That's kind of like my go-to eye. So I love these. I really only have one eyeliner recommendation, and these are also 30% off during the Sephora sale, and they're fantastic. I highly recommend these from Sephora collection. These are the 12-hour colorful contour eye pencils. They come in so many shades, but this is a really great, affordable eyeliner from Sephora. They are very long wearing. They're waterproof, and they do last in the waterline. Today, I used this one, which is Cocoa. It's kind of like a warmer brown, and I just used that in the waterline today. And they do last. They don't transfer. They do last. They're very creamy, very easy to use, and they're very affordable. I think these are like $12, and then they're 30% off during the sale, which is a great deal. So honestly, from Sephora, this is the eyeliner I would recommend. Now, I personally love Victoria Beckham eyeliners. They are not available at Sephora, unfortunately. But if you're looking for something similar to that, that's a little bit more affordable, these from Sephora collection are great. In terms of mascara, that's another category that I love so many from the drugstore. So I don't buy high-end mascaras a ton. However, there are a few from Sephora that if I were going to buy one from Sephora, these are the ones that I would recommend. The first would be the one that I use today, and this is the Rare Beauty Perfect Strokes Mascara. I can remember years ago putting this in my Sephora sale recommendations, and I didn't have it for a while. They did send me one about a month ago in PR, and I pulled it out today because I wanted to use it again. And I remember how much I love this. Now, this is more of a volumizing mascara, so this is more of like a full face of makeup type of mascara for me. For every day, I like something a little bit more on the natural side, but if you want a lot of intensity, a lot of volume, this one does it. It adds a lot of thickness to the lashes, and I do enjoy this formula if this is what I'm going for. And in the grand scheme of things at Sephora, this formula is more on the affordable side compared to other mascaras. So this I do really enjoy. It doesn't flake or smudge on me. I wish it came in brown. Y'all know me, I love a brown mascara. A lot of brands don't make that in brown, unfortunately. If this came in brown, I would buy this more often. I can tell you that. This is a good one. Another one that I do enjoy, I don't have it here with me. I had it, but I used it up a few months ago and I haven't purchased a new one. The Merit Clean Lash Mascara, that one is great as well, but that one is a tubing mascara. So it comes off with warm water. It just comes off in little like pieces at the end of the day. That one is more of a natural kind of separating and lengthening formula. That's something I would lean into on an everyday basis for me. Again, same thing. I wish it came in brown. However, Merit, or not Merit, but the same founder of Merit, Catherine Powers, just released Versed makeup line at Target. I tried it a few videos ago. You might have seen it. One of the products I tried was their mascara. And y'all, that mascara is good. It's not tubing like the Merit one, but it's good. And it comes in brown. So honestly, I would look into that one. I would look into that one if you're in the market. But the Merit mascara is great as well if you like a tubing formula. And finally, in the lips category, okay, lip liner. Another one of my favorites. I have so many lip liners, it's embarrassing. I buy them all, I try them all. I love lip liner, okay? There's never enough for me. However, there is still one clear winner for me with lip liner. And it's the same. It's the same. I'm sorry to not share something new, but this formula is the best in my opinion, especially from Sephora. Makeup by Mario Ultra Suede Lip Liners. I have so many of them, it's embarrassing, okay? I don't have all the shades, but I'm very close. He has the best shades. There are so many good ones. There are so many. I mean, I could just name them off. Smoky Pink, Almond is what I have on today. Almond is my most used. Travis, Hue, Dusty Rose. Y'all, there are so many. There's something for everybody, I promise you. But these are just good. They wear well. They are a wooden pencil, so they're just a classic lip liner formula, but they are a little bit creamier than like a traditional wooden lip liner. But they're not so creamy that they're like a gel formula. But they last all day. They have a little lip brush on the end, which is so handy to have. And they're just good. Like these, I would not hesitate to go out and buy one of these. I think these are fantastic. You're just always going to hear me talk about them because I talk about them in pretty much every recommendations video that I've ever made. The only other formula I'm going to mention, this is a new launch, but they're very good and I think they deserve to be in the video, and it's the new Merit Signature Sheer Lip Liners. I have Bespoke and Tabac. I've tried them both. I've worn them both. This is a totally different formula from Mario. So these are very sheer, very balmy. You are not going to get intense pigment from these. So this is a totally different type of product. So that is shade Tabac right there. But do you see how sheer it is? It's honestly like a lip balm. That's what it feels like, but just in a pencil. But these actually do stay on the lips pretty well. Now, are they the most long wearing? No. Do they last as long as the Makeup by Mario's? No. Do they give you the same definition that you get from the Mario ones? No. These are more of a natural, like I just want to lightly define my lips but not look like I'm wearing lip liner kind of product. They're very on brand though. For Merit, these make sense. And yes, they are better than the Rhode lip liners, I'm sorry. To me, there is no comparison. They are a very similar formula, but you get a little bit of longevity with these. You don't with the Rhode, in my opinion. Now, in terms of lipstick, I am not a huge lipstick girl. I am a lip liner and a lip gloss girl, 9 times out of 10. But obviously, I review makeup for a living. I own a lot of lipsticks. I try a lot of lipsticks. There's only one that I'm gonna put in this category. And yes, they are expensive. Do I think you need to go out and buy one of these? No. If you are just an average makeup wearer, you don't just find a lot of enjoyment or use out of lipsticks, then no, do not spend the money on one of these. But if you are and you want to treat yourself to one very nice, luxurious, high-end lipstick, these are amazing. The Westman Atelier Lip Suede Matte Lipstick. I actually have 3 of them, but my favorite is the newest one, which is in Petal. So they recently released Petal in this formula, which is their iconic blush shade. They released like a whole Petal collection a few months ago. And this is the lipstick in Petal. Now this is like a lighter, I would say like a peachier pink lipstick. So that is it right there. But that is the lipstick that I have on with Almond from Makeup by Mario today. And these are very matte, but they are the creamiest, most hydrating matte formula I have ever felt in a lipstick, ever. It's so weird because when they go on and when you swatch them, they do look super matte and they feel like, oh, this is gonna be like a matte lipstick. But then once you get them on, they're matte, but yet they are creamy and they don't feel dry on the lips. And aside from all that, the packaging, 10 out of 10, 12 out of 10. I think the packaging is beautiful. From the color, this like beautiful nude, says Westman Atelier, magnetic, heavy. I mean, what more could you ask for in a lipstick? I don't know. But like I said, if you're not someone that loves lipstick or you don't use it often, do you need to spend the money on this? No, don't do that. But if you do and you want to treat yourself to something, these are beautiful. And in terms of lip gloss, now I am a lip gloss girl. I love lip gloss. I could talk about lip glosses and recommend them for an hour, truly. But I narrowed it down to a few. I am going to include these in here as well because I really, really like this and I've been using it constantly. This new Merit Shade Slick Sheen formula. So they already had the Shade Slick formula that they came out with back when the brand launched, I think. But this one has a sheen to it. So they recently launched 4 shades with the sheen. So they basically just have, like, if you look really, really, really close, they have like ultra, ultra fine shimmer in them. But when you put them on the lips, they don't look shimmery. It just gives you like a glossy effect. But this is what I have on today over that Westman lipstick. Is this from Merit in the shade Biarritz. And it's a really beautiful, neutral, kind of peachy nude. But these are great. Now, they're not the most long wearing. They're a thinner gloss formula, so you do have to reapply them. But they feel nice on the lips. They're very hydrating. They're not a sticky formula. So if you don't like sticky gloss, no worries with this one. I really like these from Merit. But of course, I can't talk about lip gloss without mentioning this one because this is another product that has been in every single recommendations video that I've ever made. The Dior Lip Maximizers, specifically this shade in 38. Rosy nude. I'm a broken record with these, but these are fantastic. Now this shade is one of the more pigmented ones, so that is shade 38 right there. These have a little bit of a plumping effect to them, but they do not hurt. They don't sting, and the plump is very minor. So if you are scared of plumping glosses, I think you could probably handle these. but these are just a classic lip gloss. I always have one of these in my purse, always, because I can put it on top of anything and it always looks good. I love it. I love it. It's glossy. This is a little bit thicker, or it's quite a bit thicker than the Merit one. But for that reason, this formula does last a little bit longer. All right, that's it for makeup. Moving into some skincare things. Are you still there? Are you still listening? I know we've been here for a long time. But for skincare, now I don't use a ton of skincare products from Sephora. I have kind of had to switch up my skincare since I've been pregnant. And a few of the things I'm going to mention are things that I've been using during pregnancy, or all these things I've been using during pregnancy. We will start with probably the thing I'm actually going to be repurchasing this myself. Tatcha Dewy Skin Cream. Okay, I am a big proponent of drugstore skincare, of more affordable skincare, and I use a lot of it. However, this is one cream I have to get behind here. I've never used a moisturizer that felt exactly like this one. There's something about it. It's a cream and it's so emollient and dewy on the skin. Like, it makes your skin look dewy and like you've just freshly applied all your skincare, or you've just come back from a facial or something like that. That is the effect that this gives, and this is what I've been using every single day during the morning for my skincare, like my last step for moisturizer. During pregnancy, this is what I've been using, and I just ran out yesterday, and I'm so sad about it. But this I will be buying again because, like I said, yes, it's expensive, but I don't know of another cream that I've tried that feels exactly like this one. And right now, I need all the help in the hydration department that I can get. So if you are in that boat too, if you have dry skin and you are looking for a new moisturizer from Sephora, this would be the one that I would recommend. If you have oily skin, stay far, far away from this. Another product that I purchased, because I saw a bunch of dermatologists recommending this for pregnancy. So I purchased this probably 6 months ago, and it's this product from Caudalie. This is the Resveratrol Lift Instant Firming Serum. So basically, Caudalie is kind of known for resveratrol, which is a retinol alternative. Typically in pregnancy, retinol is a big no-no. So for me, I wanted something to use on my skin. Now, I don't think anything does what like a retinol serum does. However, I've been using this every single night on my face and my chest, my neck. And you know what? My skin has not gotten that bad in pregnancy. I do have a little bit of melasma, but I had it before I got pregnant. So I don't think it was really caused by pregnancy. And I don't see a lot that has formed since being pregnant. So, I mean, I feel like maybe this has done something. Maybe it hasn't. I don't know. It's kind of like a thinner, milky serum texture. But, you know, I've been using it every night during pregnancy, and I feel like my skin has been decent. So I wanted to mention it in case you are in the same boat. I really did enjoy this, and I still have some left, but you can see I'm getting down to the bottom. The best lip treatment at Sephora, I've said it once, but I will continue to say it, is this one from Ole Henriksen, the Pout Preserve Peptide Lip Treatment. I'm sorry, but if you really want to hydrate your lips and you want a really thick, nice lip mask, lip treatment, this is the best one, I'm sorry, at Sephora. I like all the other ones that everyone loves, Laneige, Summer Fridays. They're good. This one is better. I'm sorry. This is the clear one. This is what I use before I do makeup. I just put a little bit of this on my lips. And this is a thick lip treatment. So once you get to the lip step of your makeup, you are going to want to remove this because this is thick. So your lip products, your lip liner in particular, will not apply well over the top of this. But this will leave your lips more hydrated. I guarantee it. This is the best. It's the best lip treatment. Just trust me. This is the clear one, but they do make shades in this now. So there's a pink one, a nude one, a berry one. I have almost all of them. at this point, and I already have a backup of this. Otherwise, I would be buying one myself. But if you want a new lip treatment and you want the best of the best, this is it. Trust me. All right, let's move on to hair things. So I get a lot of questions about my hair. I'm not super loyal to a lot of hair products from Sephora. I do have a few things though that I use a lot and I would definitely recommend. However, I will say what I'm using shampoo and conditioner wise in my hair right now is the L'Oreal, oh gosh, now I'm gonna forget the name of it. Hold on, I don't want to tell you the wrong thing. Okay, it is L'Oreal Ever Pure, but it's the Bond Repair one. So it's the one in the pink bottle. I'll put it up on the screen. That is what I'm using in my hair right now. And prior to that, I was using Dove Bond Repair, and I love that as well. So that's what I'm using right now. Full disclosure for shampoo and conditioner, and I am loving them. So just keep that in mind. You do not have to spend a lot of money on your hair products, and I have definitely just now come to realize that in the last few months. But aside from that, I wanted to mention what I use to curl my hair, because that is one of the biggest questions I get. On Instagram in particular, I get comments on videos all the time or DMs from people asking what I use to curl my hair. So to get these kinds of waves, I use the GHD Soft Curl 1.25 inch curling iron. And I think my mom got me mine originally. I'm pretty sure she got it from Nordstrom, but they do sell it at Sephora now, so I wanted to mention it. And it's just, I mean, it's a basic curling iron, but I've had mine at least 2 years, maybe closer to 3 years now. And I use it every time I do my hair. That's how I get this hair. And this hair is from 5 days ago. So I curled my hair 5 days ago. This is kind of what's left over. I did take the curling iron and kind of touch up a few pieces this morning, but this is from 5 days ago. So that curling iron on my hair really holds my curl. So that's what I use if you are curious. And then a few products that I do like. Okay, if I were going to splurge on shampoo and conditioner, hands down, I would buy Oribe Gold Lust shampoo and conditioner. They're so nice, but honestly, truly, one of the main reasons is because of the smell. Not because I think you have to buy that to get good results with your hair. Because like I said, I'm using L'Oreal and I used Dove Bond Repair before that. So those are great as well. I just love the smell of Oribe products. I probably will not buy them because like I said, I am using the L'Oreal currently and I really like it, but Oribe Gold Lust, if you want to treat yourself and you want your hair to smell really good, that's what I would buy if it were me. And then one styling type products that I do love, I have actually repurchased this at least once, maybe twice, and it's the Ouai Leave-In Conditioner. It comes in a clear bottle. And it's a great leave-in conditioner if you have a lot of breakage or your hair is dry. My hair is a very dry, thicker, coarse hair type. So I need all the hydration and moisture that I can get. That one does a really good job of detangling and just kind of adding an extra layer of moisture to my hair before it dries. So I do really love that product from Ouai that I wanted to mention as well. And finally, we are on to brushes. Now, I use a ton of BK Beauty brushes and Refer brushes, but most of what you see me use are probably BK Beauty brushes. However, there are a few random brushes from Sephora that I love and I do use quite a bit that I wanted to mention. So first up, like I said a few other times in the video, during the sale, Sephora collection is 30% off. Everything Sephora collection, 30% off. That's quite a bit of a savings, and you get 30% regardless of your tier. So you don't have to be Rouge to get that discount. Doesn't matter what tier you are, you can get the 30% off. I have a few from Sephora that I use quite a bit and I really, really like. So I wanted to mention them. This is number 96 from Sephora. This is their Pro Blush Brush. And as you can see, it's kind of dense. It has pretty long bristles, but it does have some density here. So I would use this with a formula that you know is not super pigmented, and maybe you want to be able to pick up more of it to get more pigment. That's what I would use this formula for. What this works great for are these Rare Beauty blushes. This cream to powder formula and this match made in heaven. That's what I used to apply this blush today, and it's just the right amount of density and fluffiness to get pigment and to be able to build it up to the level that you want. So this is great. You could also use this for bronzer. You could use this for liquid products if you wanted to. I typically use mine for blush, but I think this is a brush size and shape that you could use for a lot of different things. The other brush that I got recently actually, but I've been using it quite a bit in content, so you may have seen me use it, but this is the number 79 from Sephora, and this is actually their Pro Contour Brush. So this is meant to contour, but that's not what I use it for. I use this for powder. So I use this to set my T-zone. And to me, this brush is the perfect size for that because it's larger than an eyeshadow brush or like a smaller concealer brush, but it's not as large as a lot of powder brushes that you see. So you can be really precise with it and really, really press powder into your skin. So that's what I use this for, but they do say it's for contour. Honestly, you could probably use this for concealer too. It might be a little bit big for concealer, but I think this brush is a great kind of multi-purpose one to have. But honestly, the Sephora collection brushes, they're great quality. So if you need new brushes, don't sleep on Sephora collection, especially for 30% off. They are really nice, high quality brushes. The other thing from Sephora collection that I'm going to recommend, in fact, I'm probably going to buy a new one of these, is this. If you want a new powder puff, this is my favorite powder puff. This is my favorite that I've ever tried, and I've tried the Makeup by Mario one, I've tried the Amazon ones, I've tried the Rare Beauty one. This one is my favorite because it has this angled, really triangular tip right here, which you might not think that's that important, but if you really want to get under your eyes, like right here, it's important to have this really pointy shape because a lot of them are kind of fat on the end. So you just can't get in those tiny little areas as well as you can with this. You can also use this to really like carve out under your blush or your bronzer. They wash well, and I think they're $8 usually, and then they're 30% off during the sale. And then finally, the other brushes from Sephora that I use quite a bit are the Makeup by Mario brushes. I don't think I have all of them, but I almost have all of them. These are the two I use the most. This is the F1 brush. So this has an angled brush on this end and then a small little slightly angled concealer brush on this end, but this is such a versatile brush. You can use this for cream bronzer, cream blush, foundation. You can use this for concealer, color corrector, eyeshadow primer, liquid or cream eyeshadows. This brush is very versatile and it's double-ended. I know a lot of people like double-ended brushes for the convenience. This is a great one. I reach for this one all the time. And then last, this one, this is probably his most popular brush, the F4. So you get a larger end that's angled. It's kind of dense, so you can really tap products into the skin. You can build coverage with it. You also get a smaller end that's basically the same brush. It's just the smaller version. Today I used, let's see, what did I use this? I used the larger end for my Westman Atelier contour. I got it off the back of my hand and just kind of tapped it on. But again, so versatile. You can use this for everything, truly. I mean, you could do so many things on your whole face with this brush. Same with this, because of the dual-ended. Love these from Makeup by Mario. All right, that is everything. I know that was a lot. I know it was a long video, but I wanted to get everything in here, give you all my very best product recommendations for the Sephora sale. If you're shopping, or maybe you're not and you just want to see the recommendations, that's totally fine too. Don't feel the pressure to shop. If you don't want to, you don't need anything, you can't shop. It's just a sale, and there will be another one, and there will be another one after that, and another one after that. So just keep that in mind, keep the perspective. But if you want to know what I recommend and love, I always want to share it. This is a fun video to sit and film because I could sit and talk about these products forever, truly, because these are favorites. They truly are. Not just putting stuff in this video because it's like the newest in thing, you know? But I hope you enjoyed it. I will have everything listed in the description box. I will also try to link it in YouTube Shopping on the screen as well, if that's easier for you. I know some people like to just click the screen. It takes you directly to the product. If you do use my links, I do make a commission, and it does really help me out and support my channel and me and my family. So thank you so much if you do shop through them, whether it's my link or someone else that you love. This is a really great time and a great way, if you're going to shop anyways, buy something that you want through someone that you love's link, because it doesn't cost you anything and it helps them out. So whether it's me or someone else, we really do appreciate it when you do that. And if you're new, I would love for you to subscribe and stick around if you have not already. Make sure to follow me over on Instagram. I'll be posting quite a bit of short form content over there as well for the Sephora sale. And I am on TikTok at simply.blair1 as well. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching, and I will see you again very soon. Remember, simply be you. Bye.